Hey folks, today's episode is sponsored by Squarespace. The future is coming. Make it brighter with Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to turn your next idea into a unique website. Showcase your work, create content, even sell products and services of all. This is it, man. So through that lens, I am horrendously un-American in my my complete apathetic disposition towards sports in general, organized sports, or watching sports. But again, and I've said it before, I think that if I'd been trained differently, like anybody, it would have been a different story. I'm an athletic enough person. I just not a big fan of. I guess I never was on a great team until Glow, until I started working with fictitious female wrestlers. No, I just was not, I was basically on the equivalent of the Bad News Bears when I was in, Pee Wee baseball, and in high school I never played any sports. I never thought to. Maybe I should have. I've talked about that though. I do have a regret that I was not really taught how to, engage in healthy competition. But it seems like given the, political climate, there are many Americans that were not, taught about healthy competition. Just about winning at any cost, no matter what the rules, and no matter who gets hurt or dies or loses their life or job or status in the country. It's about winning, man, right? It's about winning. That's not healthy competition. So today on the show, I talked to two women. Actually, I'm going to talk to Laurie Kilmartin, who's been on the show a couple of times. We'll do a little talk with her about her new book, Dead People Suck, a guide for survivors of the newly departed. That comes out in February, soon, next week. And also Riki Lindhome from Garfunkel and Oates, but more recently from her show Another Period on Comedy Central. Going to talk to her. I'm planning on becoming a more social person in my new house. I think I'm going to entertain more, but I'm so not the entertaining kind that I used to back in the day, well, not too long ago, I would have dinner parties, but there was never any consistency to it. So at my age, with my my position in the world, in terms of what people think of me and all the people I know, I think that if I said, you want to come over for dinner, they'd be like, what's happening? Why is he having us over for dinner? I know how to be sociable. I know how to have people over, and I'm a very good host. But I would just think people would find it startling. I would imagine they'd be like, "What do we talk about with Marc? What are we going to do over there? What's he want? What's he going to do? What's he going? I don't understand. Maybe this is all a reflection of me. Maybe people would be like, that'd be great. Let's have dinner. Maybe I'm just a normal person to people looking from the outside in, or they get me, whereas I am like some monster. I feel like I'm some like social pariah with intensity problems, emotionally unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? Valentine's Day, folks. Valentine's Day is next week, and I always try to remember to help you out around Valentine's Day so you can get your loved one something special. Sometimes I've helped you out with flowers, sometimes with chocolate-covered strawberries. Well, this year, Sherry's Berries and Pro Flowers have teamed up to help you really impress your Valentine with their perfectly paired collection. Go ahead and think inside the box this Valentine's Day, because no one is going to be disappointed with this gift, folks. Your dipped strawberries and Valentine's flowers will arrive together in a beautiful, specially designed box that will keep your flowers fresh and your berries cold. Guaranteed. You got to keep your berries cold. Am I right, folks? Huh? If you got berries, chill them. Chill those berries. All right. Be a berry chiller. Oh, I've run it into the ground. But, you do have to keep your berries cold. Right now, WTF listeners can save 20% on any one of their perfectly paired combinations or any other gift over $29 with my promo code WTF. These are huge strawberries and really impressive flower arrangements, and you have a lot of options to choose from. So head over to berries.com and check them out. Visit berries.com. That's BERRIES.com and enter code WTF at checkout. Got it? Berries.com. Code WTF. Flowers, berries. Chocolate covered. Cold. I got them. They send them to me. But they don't come from anybody. They just come from them. so I can check them out. And I checked them out. They're nice, colorful flowers, chocolate berries in one box. Seemed pretty good to me. I put them in a vase, and I pretended that somebody sent them to me. So, look, Laurie Kilmartin has been on this show before. I love her. She's a writer over at Conan. I've known her as a comic forever. She's a hilarious comic. I had her on fairly recently about her comedy special about her dead dad. And this is a book, I guess, sort of built from that idea. Her new book is Dead People Suck, a guide for survivors of the newly departed. It's out February 13th. You can pre-order it now. So this is me talking to Laurie Kilmartin. I am sorry that I was home at the other house, at my other home when you showed up.
I feel terrible that you were startled on a Sunday morning.
You feel terrible? Why didn't I know? I've done worse things. There was one time I was just sitting in this house and not planning on doing anything, getting ready to go. And Lisa Lampanelli just walked up to my door. And I'm like,
that's a tough wake-up call.
Yeah, I should have known
Lisa
that.
Lampanelli on a Sunday morning.
Thank God I knew her well enough to where I didn't panic or tell her, God forbid, that I had forgotten that you were coming.
That's right.
I did not let on.
That's good.
So, what's the book called?
It's called Dead People Suck.
Wow. Is it out?
It's out February 13th.
Because the last time I saw you did the special.
Yeah.
Which was jokes
45 jokes about my dead dad. Yeah.
Now, what compelled you to, because this is a real book about grieving. Really. Yeah. It's about moving through the grieving process. You were not a psychologist, but no. you must have gotten so much feedback for your comedy show that you're like, why not, help out? What was the incentive? Well,
I hadn't sold. I did a special and I just was sitting on it and no one was interested. So I was like, all right, well, maybe I can put this into a book. Uh-huh. And I had written a parenting book a while ago called Shitty Mom, and it's just like really short, kind of.
How'd that do?
It was a New York Times bestseller for a week.
That's good. That's great.
And you only need it, even if it's just a week, you can put it on the cover.
Yeah.
So I pitched this, Shitty Mom of Grief to, the editor who edited Shitty Mom, and she bought it. Uh-huh. So in that time, then CISO bought my special, but it's pretty much, it's very different. I stole a few jokes from myself just to plant, some early laughs. And then, just essays, 500 words or less, basically, that you can read on the toilet about cancer and death and funerals and grief.
That you wrote. They're your essays. But did you, but it's supposed to, what was the feedback on the 45 jokes about, your dead dad? I mean, I have to assume that people, you've got a very specific type of reaction.
I think the people that talked to me told me they loved it.
Did you get emails though and that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Twitter stuff? Oh my God, thank you?
Yeah. I mean, it was sort of hidden on CISO. You had to get CISO to watch it.
It's gone now, right, CISO?
Yeah, CISO's gone and my special's sort of hidden someplace. Hopefully we'll be able to get it out.
I know, I just talked to Karen Esposito about her,
Take My Wife?
Yeah. Does CISO own your special?
They bought it for 3 years, and they lasted a year. So I don't exactly know. It's sort of tangled up right now.
So that's disconcerting.
It's distressing, yes.
Because you can't access your special.
I know. I have it saved on a secret Vimeo location, but I can't really do anything with it.
What would happen if you did that? Would CISO come after you? What's left of them?
Who would come after me? I don't know. That's a great idea.
I mean, why not just post a link, see what happens?
Yeah, I could.
What happened with CISO? Did they alert you? Did you get a letter saying it's over?
No, I read about it on Twitter. That's how I find out all the bad news about my life, or if anything's canceled, I find out on Twitter. Oh, okay.
That's so horrible.
Yeah.
Because it's something, I know what it's like to have, Maron. The 4th season of Maron is not on international Netflix. There's nothing I can do about it.
Why?
I don't know. They're all on the American Netflix, all 4 seasons of Maron, but for some reason they didn't post the last season, and it's not my show. It's not even IFC's show. It's Fox 21 or Fox Studios, which doesn't exist anymore. So I don't even know how to react when people are like, when can we see it? I'm like, I don't know.
Move.
Yeah, call somebody.
Take a vacation.
I don't know who to get in touch with. And then I asked my manager, what are we doing about this? They're like, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't make sense in a money situation because people would want to see it worldwide. You have fans all over the world.
Well, right, but yeah, I don't know how many, and what am I going to do? Get Ted, the head of Netflix, involved? Like, what can we do about this, man? I know you're busy giving other comics $50 million for an hour.
Oh my God, but not Monique.
Who deserves it? We all know that Monique.
She's an Oscar winner.
Yeah, she's funny.
Yes,
but I don't. It's so weird when you get into. We can talk about politics with confidence, but when you get into these nuanced sort of like, well, that one's loaded up with race and gender issues. Yeah. So, hey, I wish her luck.
Good luck to everybody. I'm going to tiptoe out of the room and hope you guys sort it out.
Yeah, maybe it'll be okay. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I can do to help, but I'll just keep my mouth shut and move on. But when people were talking to you about this, did you find yourself in this position where they were like, can you help me? Did you get any of that kind of thing, or just you helped me?
I think it was more you helped. I didn't think people came to me for further assistance.
No, they didn't.
Which was wise.
Yeah.
It was just people who had lost a parent or had lost a loved one to the same way, kind of felt like that helped them through the grieving process. So that was cool.
For the book, did you do any research? Did you read Kubler-Ross? Did you go through the 5 stages? Did you do some homework or anything?
No, I just researched my own feelings, and I actually took a ton of notes when my dad was dying.
Really?
Yeah. And so I kind of was like, oh yeah, that thing. So I just kept going back to those, 2 weeks.
Like real notes, like diary type of notes? Like
and
feelings journal?
Kind of. No. Just like things that were happening that I thought I would forget. When it's happening, you're like, I'll never forget this. It's imprinted on my DNA. And then, 3 years later, you read it, you're like, oh yeah, that night that he wanted something that was orange.
Yeah.
And that was all he could tell me. And so I started just searching through the house and bringing him things that were orange, like books and, pill bottles and stuff. And he would just shake his head. And I finally figured out it was this orange tumbler that was not of any significance to him as far as I knew.
Right.
But he wanted to drink water out of that tumbler.
And this is like his brain is going at that point?
Yeah.
And
they go to weird places. And he became obsessed with this, a wagon wheel chandelier that none of us had ever heard of that he wanted us to find. And apparently it was in the attic and the previous owner of the house had left it. And we never heard him talk about it for 40 years. And then all of a sudden it was like one of the things he was obsessed about in the last days of his life. And he's like, what is this thing? Why do you care about it?
And you found it?
No. Never found it.
But he said it was upstairs?
Yeah, he did. Now, maybe he meant a different upstairs, but he was very specific about it being in the attic. And there was a separate attic over the garage.
Yeah.
And by the time the house was emptied out and my mom had moved out, I just didn't feel like going into the garage attic. And I thought, I'll just leave it there for the next dying owner to obsess about.
To find the magic wagon wheel?
Yes.
I hope it wasn't what was going to cure him.
Oh my God, the tumor breaker.
Yeah, the tumor breaker wagon wheel. Maybe he knew. That's all it would take.
Oh my God.
No.
And he couldn't tell me. And just he had this little, my sister, when you go to Walgreens or something, they have like little flowers for sale. Like they look like cactuses that are going to die. Those are just like tiny little baby flowers.
Yeah.
And she bought him one. And I guess, smell is the last sense to go. So he just kept bringing it to his nose and inhaling it and, putting it down.
Oh my
God.
It was
just the last things he could do.
Yeah.
Were sort of.
What kind of cancer did he have again?
He had lung cancer.
And it just went all over and your brain goes from all the drugs and the cancer.
Yes. And he had radiation and stuff. So to prevent it from going to the brain, which is, I think kind of hurt his, ability to think, but, it also kept it from going to the brain, which is great. Cause I think when it goes to the brain, sometimes people get, their emotions change a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's tougher than just a regular
they become
down.
Emotionally different people.
Yeah. And he didn't become different. He just became, he was also high on morphine, of course. That could explain everything, but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The loopiness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the obsessions with things we hadn't heard of. Yeah.
Yeah. And, but they sort of return to childlike behavior.
Yeah,
right?
totally. And you're taking care of your parents and you're diapering them and you're doing all the things they did for you. And, it's a special time if you can get it, if you're lucky enough to be around them when they're dying.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I don't want it. I don't, like, I just hope, what God forbid it happens, which I imagine it will, and I'll be alive for it, that it's quick, and I just have to show up to say a few words.
You mean you've got 6 hours to get there, and you get there at 5:45?
Oh, or just like, he's gone. Oh, what happened?
Oh, you don't want even a last conversation?
Nah, I'm good.
That's how I feel about my mom. I feel like I've learned nothing from my dad's death. I would just like to do my dad's death over a little bit, but my mom, I'm like, oh, hurry up. Like, you've been around plenty. I get you. You're not changing. Whatever you are, you're just becoming more of, and I'm done with you.
Oh, that's the worst.
It is the worst, because I think I will feel guilty when she actually does die, but I can't seem to learn that lesson in advance and be kinder to her, or just forgive her for voting for Trump, or, all the things that drive me nuts. I can't seem to do right now.
No.
I'll do it I know I'll do it at her grave, and I'll be crying, but.
I wonder, like, my parents, they didn't get worse. They both got better.
Oh.
Somehow. Like,
they
softened up. They became a little less selfish. My mother's a little more, complimentary and, sort of supportive in a way that she wasn't. She goes out of her way to say things like, I'm proud of you. I love you. Like, nothing, I didn't get a lot of that.
Interesting.
And my dad just sort of gone soft somehow. He was always sort of up and down, but now he's just, they leveled off. And, whatever was threatening and horrible and, kind of annoying about them is, it's a little tempered.
Do you feel kind of angry at your mom for not giving you that when you really needed it?
I guess, but like, I don't know if I feel angry at her. I just, it's hard. How it really manifests itself is like she wants to come out. Like, so I'm going to fly her out.
Yeah.
She wants to come out, and I really don't understand why. Like, she wants to see me,
sure.
Whatever. But I'm like, why 4 days? I mean, can't we just in and out this thing? Like, can't we?
That isn't in and out. What are you talking about? My mother lives with me. 4 days. Oh my God. I would dance for a month if that was my.
I don't want to hurt her feelings, but it's like after a day or two, I'm like, we kind of did everything. We caught up. I took you over to the Bloomingdale's, whatever.
She probably wants to go shopping for you. She's probably going to fill your, your cupboards with food and do some laundry.
You got the wrong mom.
She doesn't do
I didn't get that one. God forbid she tries to cook anything.
She's not going to fold your underpants and put them in the wrong drawer.
No, I don't. She might buy me a shirt that I never wear, but it'll be fine. I guess I should appreciate it more.
Yeah.
And I'll go out and see my dad, but I swear to God, like in New Mexico, but like really a day is, I'm good.
Yeah.
A day, like, a full day, by the end of that day, I'm like, all right, okay, I guess we're all caught up.
Yeah.
You okay?
It sucks because when they actually are gone, you're gonna want that day back.
Really?
But you don't want it when you have it. It's awful.
Maybe I'm a terrible person. I don't know. I can't. And I know something's coming.
Yeah. How old are your parents? 6 months. Listeners note, he's counting on his fingers right now.
I don't know. How do you do math again?
I'll ask my son. He has Common Core word problems every day
how often do you have your son? All the time?
Yeah. During the week. Yeah. Like, I don't have him today, so.
And so your mom lives with you guys?
Yeah.
How long's that been going on?
A year and a half. I've been in a bad mood for 18 months.
My mom's 77.
Okay.
Is that possible?
Yeah. Is she in good health?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you might have another decade with her, so there's no rush to be loving. But
my dad's going to be 80 this year?
Yeah.
Wow.
80's when I remember my dad getting really elderly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's happening. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why I assume, like, of course they're running out of steam a little bit.
It's hard to imagine these people that were so big and domineering in your life start to become brittle and frail.
Yeah.
And then they just disappear, but they actually do. And
now I'm getting sad. Now I'm thinking about it. Now I'm getting sad.
Well, I guess, it's impossible to appreciate them when they're here the way you will when they're gone. And there's no way to change it, I think.
No. I don't know. Some people, I guess. Do you know people that are like that? I don't know. That are like, I just love my parents and I cherish every moment I'm with them and and everything is great.
I think I have a few Facebook friends like that, and they enrage me. Like, you aren't telling the truth. There's no way.
There's something wrong with you're hiding something.
You are. Stop
you're
it.
You're a repressive weirdo.
You're posting who you wish you were, not who you were.
Do they respond to that? Do you tell them that?
No, I just think that inside, and I wonder if I'm doing it all wrong.
So, like, in the close of the book, I mean, do you find, how many essays are in the book?
Ooh, maybe like 50. Again, they're really short. They're like quick. They're like almost stand-up bits, basically. You know.
Are they all funny or no?
They're not all funny. It's weird. When I wrote a parenting book, it's pretty much all funny. And I guess it's because I have a kid and I know he's going to read it one day and he's still here. And then when I was writing about my dad, it was like, God, he's a real guy and he's dead and I'm actually might be the final word on him.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more daunting to write about a person's life when they're not there to, you know, counteract it or to say, well, you know, not exactly, or to just live a different way and prove you wrong.
So is there questionable stuff in there where you're like, I don't know if you'd like that? No.
The only thing I'm worried about is of the family that I write about reading it, but they're very unsupportive, so I don't think they will read it.
Whose family?
There's a certain side of the family that the people that I'm talking about probably won't read it, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of thought that when I wrote about my dad, and then it caused a little bit of a wildfire. Oh no! Over there in that side of the family.
Oh
yeah. His side of the family. You know, that was what was funny. It's like, I was honest, but, you know, I could see how he could feel a little hurt or betrayed by my honesty.
Right.
But apparently there was like, you know, his uncles, the old guard of the Maron clan.
Sure.
Were sort of like disappointed with me, and he was hanging that over me. Like, you know, I talked to my Uncle Phil. They were not very happy. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Well, Phil Maron's got to protect his name.
Well, he's passed. I didn't, but it wasn't about Phil. It was about my dad. So he was sort of rallying his troops on me. Like, you know, you're not welcome. And I'm like, oh, really? Thank you. Do me a favor. And then it all passes. You know, you apologize and whatever.
Right.
Everything's intense in the moment.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, but that's not the case here.
I don't think so.
He's not going to, you didn't.
There's a couple of cousins that might be upset, but it's already a rough Thanksgiving, given the political, you know, fracture in the family. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just between Trump.
You've got that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And they're still happy about it?
I would imagine so, especially since the tax cuts and stuff.
That's what they were hoping for?
I think so.
Tax cuts for corporations?
Right. My cousins are corporations.
Oh, that's wild. Interesting.
Pfizer is a first cousin.
Oh, that's wild. They're just thrilled that finally those corporations are going to get the break they deserve.
I don't even know that the tax thing benefits them, but the idea that it will when they become incredibly wealthy
all about those
from
ideas.
The lottery ticket.
Sure.
Well,
all about those ideas, those angry ideas that make you feel good.
Yeah,
I don't know who my dad voted for. I know who my mom voted for, but I've avoided. There's a part of me that I think I used to go down to my mother's for Thanksgiving, but generally I've been shooting for the last few years. It's hard for me to get down there.
Yeah.
But there is a contingent in that crew that goes to that dinner.
Sure.
That are, you know, just like, Trump supporters, Jewish Trump supporters.
Oh my God. It never makes sense to me.
Yeah. And, the Zionist element or the business element or just, there's plenty of Republican Jews.
I know, but like my son is Hispanic and my mother voted for Trump. I'm like, how could you, after what he said about Mexicans, how can you set my son up for that kind of taunting or bullying?
I don't know what that disconnect is. I don't think they add it all up.
No, they don't.
They just go with their feelings.
Yep.
And, and maybe policy will sync up with that. But, I don't know where that drop off is, where you don't see that it's exacerbating intolerance. And you just still sort of like, but it's good for the country.
Yeah.
Is it? My son's crying.
I'm grateful that my dad died before Donald Trump was even a candidate, because I can kind of think, well, maybe he's one of the Mitt Romney. Maybe my dad would have been a never Trumper, because Trump is so vulgar, and that's just not.
But you don't know.
I don't know.
He did us all a favor. You can write a book.
I'm glad I didn't find that chandelier that would have cured him because you died at the right time.
You have nice love for him.
It's very pure.
Yeah.
It's not,
God, if he had lived into January, might have just no book, no movie.
He has Dinesh D'Souza books, so I'm like, oh, it's possible.
Oh, God.
But I'll never know.
You were spared.
I was.
Thanks for talking.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So you got it. Dead People Suck, a guide for survivors of the newly departed. Sounds helpful and funny. Tough times. Grief is difficult, and we're all feeling a bit of it. Are we not? I think I'm going to read this email only because, it's sort of eating at me because I don't, I've talked about it a bit, but I don't know if it's talked about enough. This is from Stephen. Subject line BDD. Mark, how do you deal with your body dysmorphia when those thoughts come and I feel like I've eaten too much regardless of how small my meals are and my brain tells me my body instantly changed for the worse and then the guilt and then I'm preoccupied with the idea that starvation is a valid option the rest of the day? What the fuck? How do you deal with it? Anyway, maybe I'll go find a chat room or a forum or something. Have a great day, Stephen. Hey, Stephen, buddy. Here's the deal with that. And I don't know how many men really suffer from this shit or there is a sort of shame to it in this. There's a shame on top of the shame because to be a dude with a sort of body dysmorphia or a mild or extreme eating disorder, you feel like you really got to keep that stuff in the closet. But, I do suffer from insane body dysmorphia and, kind of a weird eating, a very shitty relationship with food, as some of you know, and it ebbs and flows. And I just read something, a transcript of something I did on stage years ago that's going to be in the Risk book. There's just something about wanting to feel shitty, wanting to be hard on yourself. If you have a brain that's always going to look for a reason to be hard on yourself, it's going to do it one way or the other. And around eating, my ex-wife used to say, hey, look, in terms of that problem, whether it's overeating or compulsive eating or denying yourself food, is that the bottom line is, unlike drugs or alcohol or gambling or debting, you got to eat and you got to figure out a way to accept eating and you can't beat yourself up too much for eating. There's a consistency to body shame that I think sometimes for me it happens when I'm anxious or I'm full of dread or I have too much time on my hands or things are going well. That's a very easy way to get myself back into a pattern of self-judgment. Whereas look, if you eat something shitty, exercise, don't eat shitty the next day, try to, keep a healthy diet. I mean, I eat pretty healthily, but I know the feeling and I'm sort of in it right now and I appreciate your email. I don't know if there are forums or, you can go to meetings of some kind, OA maybe. I knew a guy when I used to talk about this, I knew this guy, Mitch. I said, how do you not go crazy? Because when I was first getting sober, I would eat, I've gone through periods of ice cream or sugar. Fortunately for me, I have slightly high cholesterol, so that's made it sort of the impending doom element of eating certain things has stifled my behavior a little bit, which has helped out, but you shouldn't take that. But this dude, Mitch, he said, I would never have an eating disorder because I eat the exact same thing every day. I know that doesn't mix it up much, but maybe you should get into get involved with some sort of monitoring. Because that's like a whole other thing. Instead of just winging it and, feeling randomly guilty about eating things when, you just, who knows how your day is going, get on Weight Watchers or something. Do something to sort of engage you mathematically where you're just, working on the tables, sort of counting those points or whatever the system is, and stretching them out. That way you'll feel proactive in your food obsession. Maybe try that. But I don't know. I feel fucking chubby. Look, I'll admit that even if I'm not heavy, which I'm usually not, there's too much of me. There's definitely too much of me. So that, I don't feel like I'm wrong there. And I feel like there's many people that would validate that. Just too much of Mark. One way or the other, on some level, there's too much. So, As I mentioned earlier, support for today's show comes from Squarespace. Ready to start your new business? Make it stand out with Squarespace. Are you ready? Squarespace helps you create a website that is as unique and memorable as you are. They use world-class designers to create templates so you can choose the best possible look for your site, no matter what you want to use it for. It's all customizable, so whether you want to create a gallery to show off your work or you have a business that sells products and services online, you'll be able to make the perfect site with Squarespace. And all Squarespace sites are optimized for mobile devices, which means it looks great on whatever you're using. Don't believe me? Go check out WTFpod.com anywhere, on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop. It looks great, and it's powered by Squarespace. It's really easy to use the Squarespace control panel. We update the site multiple times a week with no trouble. But if you ever have a question, Squarespace's award-winning 24/7 customer support is there to help. Destiny is calling. It says you need a new website. Make it Squarespace. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code WTF to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com, offer code WTF. So, Riki Lindhome, you might know her from Garfunkel and Oates, the lovely Kate Micucci and Riki do a comedy music duo. And they seem to be working together again. I guess I never stopped, but I talked to her a little bit about that. But now she's here talking about the third season of her show, Another Period, which is on Comedy Central Tuesday nights at 10:30, 9:30 Central. I also talked to Natasha Leggero about this, who I love. But we talked about other stuff. It's a well-rounded chat. This is me and Riki Lindhome. Is that good?
Can I turn this down just a teeny bit?
Oh, you had enough of me already?
Just, I have like super hearing.
Is that good?
That's great, yeah.
That's better?
Yeah, that's much better.
You have super hearing?
Yeah, kind of.
But I mean, is it like sensitive? I mean, does it hurt your head?
No. I just have good hearing.
How's your vision?
It's great. Yeah.
Is that because it's genetic? Are you like an Aryan person?
I think so, yeah. I think I'm the dream Aryan.
Yeah, what is it? I mean, like, what is it? Swedish?
Swedish, English, and Irish. I thought I was just Swedish.
Tough.
And
that's pretty tough.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have people in your family that are like from those countries, or is it too far back?
From Sweden, but not currently. Like everyone's dead who's from there. But I think my great grandparents were from Sweden on both sides.
You didn't know anybody.
I didn't know anyone. No.
Yeah.
No.
So wait, tell me about this moving every 2 years. Hold on a minute. I think I need to get a water over there.
Okay.
Everything's a little disheveled. I want to applaud your courage in going to the bathroom with the window out and workmen around.
Uh-huh.
That was I thought that was pretty courageous.
I felt okay. Yeah. I've gone in worse places.
Well, that's the thing I always realize when I have fancy people over, is that like I'm worried about how dirty my bathroom is, and I'm like, they're actors, they're comedians, they've had a life, they've been to clubs.
Yeah, everyone's been to a porta potty. I've gone to a porta potty wearing a jumpsuit, which I would not recommend.
Oh my god!
Because you have to take it all off. And,
where was this, at a festival?
Yeah, and it was just like, oh, I shouldn't have.
Like bumper shoot or something?
Where was it? It was
at the FYI Fest or something.
I think it was that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
FYF
or the I don't know what it is.
Whatever.
Yes. Was it the music festival or the comedy festival?
It was the music festival in LA.
The one down there that you take the train to, like,
yes.
right? Oh, yeah,
in a field.
Right, and they had a comedy tent.
Yes.
That was terrible.
Yes. Or was it? I don't remember.
Did you perform?
Yeah.
Who? You and Kate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like the festivals. I don't like doing. I don't think it's a good venue for comedy. I'm happy they have us there, but it's never. I don't like a bunch of standing people.
I was going to say comedy's bad when you're standing.
I just can't take it. Maybe I'm too old for that shit.
No, because when people stand, they think they can talk. And when they're sitting, they know to be quiet. It's like, we're just conditioned that way.
Well, yeah, but standing always feels like you're just waiting.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not locked in. You're just sort of like, what's the next song? What's going to happen now?
Yeah.
It bothers me.
I don't like standing at shows.
I just got a feeling of nervousness.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I just, whenever I do those kind of festivals or audiences, I'm like, this is going to suck going in. Like, I'm standing there, I'm like, this will only be good despite the fact that it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Like, the baseline is, this is difficult.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think you go to hang out with friends and,
yeah,
you know. I feel like the only
I find that's less appealing.
real conversations I've had with you were at a music festival.
I don't know that we've ever had a real conversation. I don't know why that is.
I feel like I had a conversation with you at, Bonnaroo.
Oh, that was another horrible situation. Mm-hmm. But that one, they claim that one's better because it's air conditioned and it's indoors.
Yeah, but
it's more like a circus tent.
Yeah, that one was. It was so, I was so hot. I just stayed in the comedy tent all day.
It's the worst. We had a real conversation?
Yeah, we did. We almost went and got chicken.
Oh, I went.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, sure, I went. Who did I take that time from? I think me and Kanane went.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I tried to get you to go get chicken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was down, but then no one would go with us.
And what, we bailed?
Yeah, we bailed.
Oh, I must have went the next night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Were you there with Kate again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was like, how long ago was that?
Oh, so long ago.
Was it that long?
8 years ago or something? Or, I don't know. I'm really bad with time. I really am.
But you do a show based on time.
I know.
But that's a very specific period.
Yeah, it's 1902.
All right, wait, let's go back to this moving every 2 months. How long have you lived? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up, I moved every year
2 years,
until I was in 4th grade, and then we stayed in this little town called Portville, which is like
Where's
2
that?
hours south of Buffalo.
In New York? Upstate New York?
Yeah, like a town of 1,000 people, very Republican, white. Yeah, it might as well be Midwest.
Yeah, how'd you end up there?
My dad is an oil and gas lawyer, and we sort of moved.
Oil and gas lawyer?
Yeah, and an entrepreneur. He always is opening businesses that I don't totally understand. Yeah.
Like what?
Like he'll be like, "Oh, I have a timber business." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
That's it? You don't investigate any further than that?
Not when I was little. He'd be like, "I'm doing title work," and I'm like, "That sounds good, Dad."
Title work,
whatever.
I know. For years, when you're a kid, when you see a sign for title company, it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
They just name things,
and you just don't investigate. My dad wore a suit and he went to work, and we moved every year.
And it was his own title company.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Every year he moved. Are you sure he wasn't on the run?
Oh, I don't know.
Is he still around?
Yeah, he's still around. Both my parents are still around.
Oh, that's good.
They're still together.
And they're still together. How many siblings you have?
One brother and a half sister.
Half sister? How'd that happen?
My dad got a woman pregnant in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
And you have a relationship? He took the kid? How did it all work?
She ended up staying with her mom.
Yeah.
And her mom, married this lovely guy, and they raised her. And then me and my brother, had my parents.
Right. But you have a relationship with the half sister?
Yeah.
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 That's odd. I guess it's not odd. It's fairly normal. But like, when did you realize that you had this half sister? All the way through, or?
No, I was 8 or 9. I got really excited that I had a sister, and she was older. She was like, 15, so she was cool. She was babysitter age.
Really?
So she was like cool older babysitter age. Yeah. I thought that was awesome.
That's sort of wild though. Like, you get that surprise. I guess when you're 8, it just seems like an extra added good thing.
Totally.
But like when you're 15, it's like, well, how did I not know this?
Yeah. I think it was much more emotional for her than it was for me and my brother.
Yeah?
I think we felt fine about it.
Did she know though all along?
No, she had just found out.
Oh my God! Did she just found out that he was her father?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God!
It's weird. My family is not that open about stuff, so I'm not exactly sure what the story is.
Really?
I'm not. Yeah. We don't talk about a lot of things.
Is that a Swedish thing? What is that?
I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a Swedish thing or just my family, but
really,
we sort of gloss over a lot of things, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess that's what happened.
I think that's normal. I think like with all families, you end up more gets revealed as time goes on, as secrets become sort of exhausted. You know what I mean? Like I find that when my parents, as they get older, they tell you things. You're like, what? And they're like, oh, you didn't know that? I'm like, how would I know that?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that.
And but put it back in your mouth.
But I always felt like I was missing something. Like I knew that I didn't know stuff.
Yeah.
And I would get mad at them and I didn't know why. And
yeah.
I'd say stuff like, you don't understand me.
Yeah.
Or what, I just felt like an emotional.
Right. Like they were hiding something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get along with them?
Yeah. Yeah.
So where'd you go? Where'd you end up? What's the journey to show business? So you're in upstate New York. You're outside of Buffalo. Is that what you told me?
In a town of 1,000 people.
Oh my God. How far outside of Buffalo?
Like an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on the snow.
Well, that's not like right outside of Buffalo. Where the hell? You must have been closer to something else. That was the closest city.
No, that
Buffalo?
was the closest mall, closest airport.
What about Albany? How far is Albany?
Albany's 5 hours.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I gotta look at I forget how big New York is.
It's enormous. Yeah. We're like 7 hours from the city.
But are you close to Canada?
Yeah, 2 hours.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you go to Canada?
We would go once a year to Toronto to see musical theater.
That's important.
Phantom or something. Yeah, it was the best day of my life.
Because I was closer than New York City.
Yes.
No shit.
I didn't see a Broadway play till I was, 23 or something.
So Toronto was the cultural outlet. Buffalo, is limited.
Yes, it is. So I went to college for 3 years. I went to Syracuse. And that was I was just kind of depressed in college. It kind of just is a blip, and I don't really
focus on it or remember it.
But wait, did you go to Niagara Falls a lot?
Yeah, a couple times.
Isn't that by Buffalo?
Yeah. But it was sort of like a 2-hour journey in the snow, and once you go there once, we didn't leave the town too much.
1,000 people.
1,000 people.
How many people in your high school?
There's probably 1,000 people in my high school, but it was K through 12 in one building, and it was for a bunch of towns. So
wait, so 1,000 people in the whole high school?
In the whole, in kindergarten through 12.
In the whole kindergarten through 12?
Mm-hmm, in one building.
So you're with the same people your whole life?
Yeah.
That is wild.
It's weird, yeah.
Are you friends with any of them?
A couple, not too
But
many.
like, so you got there when you were like 6, so those were the people.
I was 9 or 10 when I got there.
So 10 through 17, those are the people.
That was it, yeah. But I was expecting to leave just because we'd moved every year until then.
What kept him there?
I guess the business went well.
The title business?
Yeah.
Or the timber business?
I don't know. Oil and gas.
Right. Oil and gas law.
Yeah.
But he was a lawyer.
Yes.
Okay. At the bottom of it all, he was a lawyer.
Right.
And he's not in jail, so you have to assume.
So I'm assuming it was.
Is he retired?
Semi.
And what about your mother?
My mom works for my dad. She used to be a professor, a college professor doing computers science stuff, and now she works for my dad.
General computer science stuff.
Yeah.
Back when that was a class.
Yeah,
computer
teaching,
science.
Yeah, exactly.
Learning how to do what was that language?
DOS.
Yeah.
Floppy disks.
Yeah. Loading stuff in. Mm-hmm. That was the language that you had to learn. I couldn't wrap my brain around it.
I couldn't either.
I was in college. I took the computer class because I had to take something as an elective or whatever. Had the book. I'm like, no way. Not happening.
No, but my mom taught it, and I don't know. She was kind of the only woman in the computer department of any of the, in her.
What was the other language? It was DOS and something else. You can't remember how. I don't want to ask.
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
How old I am?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 38.
Yeah, so you're okay with talking about how old you are?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, you can Google it.
I know,
Yeah.
but still, it's still it's still in my brain. Now, is that like? Is it still inappropriate to ask women how old they are, or is that okay now?
I don't know. I'm okay with it. I'm pretty okay with anything.
Cherry Coke. That's a Cherry Coke sweatshirt?
Yeah, it is.
Is that gone? It's gone, isn't it?
I don't know.
I remember how exciting it was when Cherry Coke came out. Wasn't it so good?
But it tastes a little bit like Robitussin.
That's true.
That's the only problem with it.
All right. So you're growing up, your kindergarten through 12 with the same people. So you'd have you'd date boys and then you'd see them grow old.
I suppose so.
Have you gone back to a reunion?
No, I don't go to reunions. I just kind of leave things in the past and just move forward.
All right. So are you acting in high school?
Our drama department got canceled after my freshman year. I think we ran out of funding.
What?
So so that got canceled. So I didn't do that, and I wanted to. I loved musicals and stuff, but it's a poor town.
So it didn't happen?
No, we got a scoreboard. I think maybe the money went in there. I don't know, but
they canceled the drama department.
Yeah.
Before you got to do anything.
Yeah. Or no, I did a play my freshman year, and then it got canceled. So,
what play?
Man of La Mancha.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It
was Antonia, or no, yeah.
It's a pretty big production for a small school.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard to get. In my school, everyone kind of gets in. It just depends on how big the part is.
Who sang "Dream the Impossible Dream"? Wasn't that from that show?
My boyfriend at the time.
Oh, yeah. He was a singer?
Yeah. I was dating the lead in the play.
I'd love to see pictures of you and the boyfriend.
Oh gosh.
In freshman year or whatever.
Yeah. He was
doing Man of La Mancha.
He was a senior and I was a freshman.
It's so funny. You really think you're pulling it off, like when you do the grown-up parts. When you're in it in high school or junior high, you're like, I'm getting by. I'm passing.
Really good, yeah.
And then you see pictures, you're like, I'm like a kid.
This was ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
and the parents just look at you like, oh, that was so good. They know.
But you think it's actually good.
I think that's really the one thing we should thank adults for. Generally, if they're good adults, they don't tell us how ridiculous we actually look, and they're just sort of like find it sweet.
I think that's a good parent.
Yeah, that just like you don't look like a grown up.
Right.
This is just it's silly that you're doing this play. They're like, that was good.
Man, I wanted to do plays though.
But you go to Toronto and you saw shows in high school, so you was that what planted the seed?
Yeah. We would see, Phantom of the Opera or Miss Saigon or one of these kind of whatever was playing.
Oh yeah.
Miss
Saigon.
Show. Yeah.
Did you like Toronto? Toronto's a good town.
Yeah. We would just go for the night, but
just for one night.
Yeah.
And you, okay, so you go to college in Syracuse.
Yes.
How far is that from wherever the hell?
That's like 3 hours from where I'm from.
How big is New York?
It's enormous.
Oh my God.
Syracuse is on the way to Albany.
Right, because Troy and Albany are close.
Yes.
Right.
I believe so.
Yes, they are. They're not that far.
Yeah.
They're not that far. Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful theater in Troy I played at. It was built in
Really?
the 1800s.
Ooh, nice.
And people go to record classical music there because the acoustics are so perfect. And you go to, I can't remember the name of the theater, but it was like, just the acoustics are spectacular.
Really? I did not know that.
Oh, it was astounding. So
yeah, I was just kind of dying to get out of my
and
town.
what was so you go to Syracuse.
So I went to Syracuse. Like, I thought I was going to go to Harvard. Like, I just really thought that was going to happen. And then
Did you get straight A's and shit?
Yeah. I was like Little Miss Class President.
Oh, really?
Kind of person. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That makes sense.
I was just, I was like such an overachiever. I made my first sort of to-do list, like life to-do list when I was 12.
Yeah.
And I decided that I was going to an Ivy League school. And,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Me too. But I didn't do any of the homework.
Oh, I did all the homework. It just didn't work out. I didn't get in. And then
How did you not get in with straight A's?
I don't know. I don't know.
Where'd you apply?
Everywhere that was an Ivy League.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All of them? All 12 or 13 of them?
Yeah, whatever.
Not one?
No, nowhere. Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
I don't know.
That doesn't seem fair. Who wrote your letters for you? What'd you have to? Couldn't it? Yeah.
Just teachers
I'm sorry.
and no, I'm over it. But but so I went to Syracuse and yeah. I don't know, college, I was just kind of depressed in college. I just kind of moved past it and then I
So you were class president and then you went to college and you just went into a dark period?
Yeah.
You had no traction.
I had no traction.
You were a big shot and now you're just lost.
And then I was, in a sea
of people just like you.
30,000 sports fans.
Oh, sports fans.
Kind of, yeah. And I was like, where am I?
You didn't find the nerds?
I did find the nerds. It just, it's a
Were they all sad too and dark?
No, I don't think so.
Did you go there for 4 years?
I was there for 5 semesters. And then I did my
5 semesters. That's 2.5 years.
And then I did 1 semester in England, and I just graduated early. I just plowed through it.
Oh, really? You took all the necessary classes to graduate early?
Yeah.
So you're sad and depressed in Syracuse, and it snows there, and you're under snow for a long time. And did you have a sad, depressed boyfriend?
No, I didn't date anyone in college.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Did you do any shows?
No.
You did nothing.
Well, I did. Okay, let me.
You're getting straight A's. Getting straight A's again.
I'm forgetting. I did do a show. I was in the chorus of a musical my freshman year.
Yeah.
But I was getting probably straight A's like around that. I'm good at tests. Like.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily help you in life, but I was good at school.
Yeah. It didn't. You don't think it helped you in life?
Not really. Like not. I mean, I don't think anyone cares.
Not in the life you chose.
Right.
It might have helped you in some other life.
I guess.
Yeah. But so you just did the chorus, so you were just a girl in the background?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Being sad, but singing?
Just
sad and singing in the background?
And waiting for my life to start.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you don't know what you're going to do, and then you feel lost, and, ugh. So what made you go to England? You just like that, maybe that would help? Well,
because you could see plays. There was courses where you could go to a bunch of, you went to plays like 2 or 3 times a week.
Oh, so it was a drama exchange program kind of thing?
Yeah.
But you just signed up for that? That was the focus it was a short exchange program with a drama focus?
Yes, and it was amazing.
And you go see Shakespeare and go see stuff in the West End and that kind of stuff?
And I was just like, oh my God, this is the best thing in the world. And
that was it?
I loved it. Yeah. And I was like, well, I have to do this.
Did you like England?
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
I really did. It was like it helped me sort of like start to get out of my
darkness. The darkness. Were you on medication? Were you
not until 10 years ago?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, because I don't know if you've dealt with medication kind of stuff, but it's like trial and error
But like you managed a certain amount of kind of like depression here and there for decades.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and then I tried different SSRIs and things, and nothing was really working, or I had side effects. And then I was like, I'm going to try one last thing, and I tried this medication, and my whole life changed in 2 weeks.
And that's the one you're on now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like...
Which one?
Wellbutrin.
Oh, Wellbutrin was it? Out of all of them, it's a classic.
Mm-hmm. And it was just like, oh, I'm back to myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my... So, like, okay, well, we'll get to...
I never want to go off it.
I think I took it once for, I think it was the same. I think Wellbutrin and Xantex were the same. I took Wellbutrin briefly. It was it jacked me up a little too much. I'm thinking it was, I don't take anything and I haven't in a long time, but I remember trying Wellbutrin to stop smoking.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be good for that. I don't know why, but.
Well, yeah, I think Xantex or whatever that name of that non-smoking pill, I think is basically Wellbutrin.
Okay.
It's the same pill.
Right.
All right. So, So you get all juiced up in England to do theater. Mm-hmm. What did you see there? Did you go to Shakespeare? Did you go to, what do you call Stratford upon Avon?
Yeah.
Stratford upon Avon.
Yeah, I went there and, all the, the Old Vic and just everything. And I got really excited. And I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted to be part of it.
So you saw classics, you saw Shakespeare, and then you saw modern theater.
Yes.
They mixed it up for you.
Yes.
And they took care of all the bookings and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's a good program.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I was just so excited.
You remember where you were living in England?
I think I lived on Baker Street, near the Sherlock Holmes museum or whatever. Yeah.
I was there for a month on an exchange program, and it was a dark.
Did you like it?
I don't know. You get me away from things that I'm comfortable with, and I lose sense of who I am. Even if I go onto the road, if the hotel's not properly positioned near humans, I'm sort of like,
You get lonely, or
I don't know if it's lonely. I literally sort of like, do I exist? What is happening? It's weird. I feel, because I remember I was in high school when I went on the exchange program. It was only for a month. It was a summer thing, and everyone else in the program had already been at college. Like, I was going into my freshman year of college, and they were all sort of sophomores. So they were already sort of like, no, look at this kid.
Right. They'd already been away from home.
Right. Yeah. And I was, this outsider just because I was young. And I just remember not really connecting with a lot of people and wandering around by myself. And then you just start to feel invisible and weird.
That's always the worst.
Do you know that feeling?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I moved to San Francisco right after college, and I had a very hard time making friends. And I was also
depressed. It's a rough city, though. Yeah.
But I felt invisible, and I wasn't there very long. I had to just leave.
It's a little brutal because so much of that city is about sort of bullying your identity. So much about San Francisco, even the weird kind of homeless people are very well defined. Mm-hmm. Everybody's very well defined in a certain way.
Yeah, and I felt a little blank.
Yeah, it's a horrible place to feel blank.
Yeah.
As San Francisco is. It's horrible to feel blank anywhere, but that place, it can be kind of harsh because it's not a very sympathetic city if you don't know who you are.
Yeah. God, that's so well put. Yeah.
It seems to make sense. It seems a lot of people are coming into themselves, but they're aggressive or something. I lived there for a couple of years on and off.
Oh, that's right.
And I could never really get a handle on it.
I couldn't get a foothold there. I don't usually have a hard time making friends, and I just didn't make any.
So you just went there blind?
I went there to go to an acting program for the summer, and then sort of stayed there for a few months after.
Which acting program?
ACT.
Oh, yeah. That was downtown, on Mason or something. Or it was right across from the Improv. There was an Improv there. ACT was around there, I remember.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of by Union Square somewhere.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I took acting classes in San Francisco with Sherry Carlson, but I don't know. It's an odd place, man. So you come back
But it's funny, though, because I was taking classes there, and I played guitar, and this other girl who's in my class, we wrote some funny song, and we played it at the final show.
Yeah.
And of course it did not occur to me to pursue that at all. I was like, now I'm going to pursue classical acting. And, my scene was fine.
Yeah.
But the song was a total hit. And I was like, well, I'm going to ignore that.
Ignore the fun part.
Yes. I'm going to ignore the part that went really well.
And be real serious.
Yes.
That's so weird because when I was in England at that program, I did a song with some other guy.
Really?
We wrote a funny song for the thing at the end.
That's so funny.
And then the last night, everyone's like, hey, you're pretty cool. I'm like, nah, fuck off.
Thanks. Yeah. You're like, I was the whole time. But
I don't know if my memory's right, though. Do you think, can you trust your memory? Do you think
I don't trust my memory at all.
You were as shitty as you thought you were? In terms of sadness and all that? Do you really think you were that disconnected?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't trust my memory.
So you come back from England, you had a good time, and then you tell your parents, who are clearly supportive, that you're going to go to San Francisco.
Yes.
To go to ACT, specifically for that. Mm-hmm. So you had somewhere to go. You weren't just going to be like, I'm just going to get an apartment.
No, I wasn't brave enough yet. But I went to San Francisco and got my bravery up.
What'd you learn at ACT? Did you stay for the whole time? It was just a summer program?
A couple month long program. It was great. You learn sort of basics of everything.
Yeah.
Because I'd never done acting school. So you learn, Alexander technique and.
Yeah. What is that again? My friend does that.
It's the thing where you relax your back. There's a mantra where you're neck be free so my back can lengthen and widen and my head can go forward and down.
Right.
Sort of this mantra that you say to yourself.
Did you find that helps you into your current state?
Yeah, I think so.
You've integrated it?
I think I have.
So that was really your first go at that.
Yes. I hadn't really taken acting classes
You
before.
just went and watched theater in London.
Yes. So it was a slow burn. And then I was like, I'm going to take classes and see what happens.
You're only like 19, 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then I moved to Los Angeles.
After San Francisco?
Yeah.
Whew. So you play guitar once with some other person. You put that on the back burner.
Yeah.
You don't do any more training after ACT?
You just did some acting classes in LA, but I never found one that I loved.
So you were going to be a classically trained actor that just didn't take classes?
Yeah, totally.
So you took yourself very seriously.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm going to be a serious actor.
Yeah.
And you come down here from San Francisco. Like the one thing about San Francisco is you can be a whack job and sort of find your place and then be a big shot whack job. You come down here, it's just sort of like, what do I do?
Yeah, I didn't know where to start.
I don't know how. Yeah, how did you start? Just coming
down.
down.
My first thing that I did, I still can't believe I did this, but it was it's not before the internet, but it was before everyone had everything online, so you could kind of lie on your resume.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, I'll just make one up.
No Wikipedia.
Right. And as I get more jobs, I'll replace the, false jobs with real jobs. And so I just made up I made a postcard that had a headshot on it that was, had reviews of this play that I was in. I was Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, by the way, in San Francisco summer stock, which is not true. There is no San Francisco summer stock.
Sure.
I just made it up.
Sure, why not?
And I put reviews on this postcard. And
so you're a liar.
You're a liar. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I didn't know a single person. I knew nobody.
That's so crazy.
I knew no.
What the fuck were you thinking? So what, did you end up in Culver City? Where'd you end up?
I ended up at Park La Brea.
Oh God! Well, that's not bad.
It was fine.
That made sense.
Yeah, it totally made sense.
Well, like a little studio at Park La Brea.
Yep.
So you're like, I can just walk to the Grove.
The Grove didn't exist yet.
Or I can walk to Farmers Market.
Yeah.
And eat there.
Yeah. It's just like I'll just start existing and see. And I sent out this postcard and I got some auditions from the postcard.
What do you mean? To who?
I sent the postcard to casting directors.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, they probably looked at you and thought like, well, she seems chipper and like wide-eyed and
yeah.
blonde.
I can't believe it worked. Yeah. But I got some auditions and I got enough sort of positive feedback that I was like, okay. And
where'd you get the casting directors? Did you have a book? Is there a book?
There's like a book you could get at the Samuel French bookstore.
So you just did that. You went to Samuel French and the guy was like, should buy this book and reach out to these, like all these things just to sort of, gently nurture dreams without overdoing it because the disappointment is coming. Here's your starter kit.
Right.
To disappointment.
Yes. And but I didn't think I was going to be disappointed. I was just ready to
go.
Good.
You bought it. You bought the bill of goods. You thought like anything's possible. And it turns out that it kind of was. So, you send it to casting directors, and then what happens?
And then I started doing those casting director seminars. Do you know those ones that now they're kind of illegal or something for some reason?
But, you'd pay for them to look at you.
Yeah, and it worked. And I started working, and I got an.
What was a casting director seminar? What happens there?
You pay, I don't know, it's like $35, and you get a class from them. They'll tell you their thoughts on auditioning, and then you get sides, and you get to audition for them with the sides. So you kind of get to show them.
So the gamble is that they'll actually see something in you and call you back.
Yeah. And the worst thing that'll happen is you learn from the casting director. So it's fine.
So you come down here and you send these things out, you get some auditions, you do a casting director seminar.
Did a bunch of them.
Oh, they had a lot of them? Yeah. They all had them? So it was a real racket. So
people think that, but I thought it was great.
No, I'm just saying from their side.
Yes, they made a lot of money, I'm sure. Yeah.
Because but I guess if you are a testament to it actually working for you, then it's not quite a racket because they were honest in the fact that they were looking at people.
Yeah, and I would get sort of one line here and there on things. I got my SAG card. I would just get
Did you get an agent?
Eventually. Well, I did a couple lines and things, and I loved this one theater company called the Actors Gang, and I had sent them my
Tim Robbins.
Yeah, and I got cast in a play there, and that sort of led to other things.
Oh, okay. So let me just get this straight. Is this all happening in the first year you're here kind of thing?
Or 3 years?
First 3 years?
It was a slow burn.
All right. Well, that's not a slow burn. I mean, some people never make it. So,
that's true.
Or never do anything. Mm-hmm. So you do the casting, you get like one-line parts on TV shows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had one line on Gilmore Girls or, just things like that.
Uh-huh.
One line on Titus. That was my first job.
With Chris Titus?
Yeah.
That was your first set?
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
It was good. I think I said you ready? I think I had a line like that. Yeah. And that was it.
You were the you ready girl?
Yep.
And then and then like I'm looking at the credits now. So you're on Gilmore Girls for 5 episodes and you do one line?
Well, no, I did Gilmore Girls as one character, and then maybe 4 years later they brought me back as a different character with like real scenes.
Right. Okay. All right. So you're chipping away at that, and then you just auditioned for the Actors Gang in Culver City?
Yeah. It used to be on like Hollywood and Vine kind of.
Yeah. Before they got that space down there.
Santa Monica and Vine. Yeah. And I auditioned for a play, and it was a really cool play that Tim Robbins wrote and directed. So
was
I
it
loved
political and charged?
Oh, totally. I played Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah.
In a commedia mask.
In like he loves that commedia stuff. Yeah. I mean, like I just saw, like I liked him and I like his plays. I went and saw the most recent Commedia dell'arte thing, which was basically a tutorial in the form.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
A lot of movement, a lot of fun, big square stage. I like the way that stage is set up at the new place, and when they use it like that, the whole square, you know.
Yeah, and I loved Tim. I loved working with him. And the play ended up going to the Public Theater in New York.
What was it called?
It was called Embedded.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, so it ended up, sort of going for a year probably. It was supposed to be, I think, 6 performances, and it just sort of kept going. And
you stayed in it a year?
Yeah, that's how things kind of started for me. And one day I was, I did the play, and I came out into the lobby, and Clint Eastwood was in the lobby because Tim was doing Mystic River at the time, like all the Oscar kind of stuff for that. And Clint talked to me for a few minutes, and then
what did he say?
He was just he just was like, hey, how's it going? Whatever.
Clint Eastwood, like with that squint and the tongue.
Yeah, I was mesmerized. I was just like,
I imagine that would be. I've never seen him in the flesh.
He's tall and striking, and has a sort of small voice, so you come to him.
I'm surprised that he was at a Tim Robbins play. I would think he would see it as some sort of, liberal, he's a bit conservative.
But Tim was in his movie, so he was in Mystic River.
Tim was great in that movie.
He was great. And so then maybe 3 months later, Clint's casting director, Phyllis Huffman, called me and had me audition for $1 Million Baby. And that was my first movie.
Who were you in that? Sister?
I was the sister. I was like the white trash sister.
Oh, yeah. Who's that woman who played your mother?
Margot Martindale.
She's so good.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's so good.
I know. She's so good.
Like I saw her recently. I feel like I saw her at the SAG Awards or something. What did I see her in? She always plays just like, some, kind of like vulnerable but horrible person.
Yeah, she can sort of lead with her grossest parts, just like, ugh. Yeah. I loved it. So that was my first
That's
movie.
crazy. So you work with Tim for a year? Mm-hmm. Now, like in a production like that, like I imagine that is there an evolution to it, or did it stay kind of what it was?
It kind of stayed what it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Once he got it, but was the process of putting it together?
That was an evolution, yeah. And that was, because I went in, I had auditioned to play Jessica Lynch. Do you remember that soldier, like the blonde soldier? And I ended up doing a Commedia part. So it ended up
I'm assuming you
like
didn't
that.
do Condoleezza in blackface.
No. We all had Commedia masks on.
Right.
So. No. Oh my gosh, no. That would have been not
bad.
Not great.
Yeah. So, and Tim was good to work with as a director. It was exciting. He created a good environment.
Yeah, he was awesome. And sort of for me, and I don't even know if he knows this, but he just, for me, became like the model of what you do, which is like when you're not working, you write.
Uh-huh.
And when you have time off, you make your own thing. And you
Did he tell you that, or you just observed that?
I just observed it. He may have said it to me at one point. I don't know. But I just saw him just constantly working so hard. Like while he was at the top of his game, he won the Oscar that year. And he was just writing all the time and working and,
What did he win it for?
Mystic River.
Did he win the Oscar Best Supporting for Mystic River?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a brutal part.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But
you just were impressed by his work ethic.
Yeah. And
so
I'm
then
I want to do that.
Yeah. And then you get, that's pretty insane that you get Clint Eastwood hooked you up with.
That was crazy. I couldn't believe that was real. And then
did he tell you he was going to do it?
No. Mm-mm.
You just met with her? How did that?
I auditioned for she called me and said, come and audition for this thing.
But it must have come from him, huh?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Or maybe she was there. So now you're on your way? Sort
of. Yeah. I mean, it was just always sort of up and down, and I would get little things here and there, and I was just always hustling. And, but then when the writer's strike was about to happen, I knew that I was in sort of major trouble.
2008. Was it then?
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah, that was brutal. Or 2007.
I was in the middle of writing something.
Were you?
Yeah.
What were you writing?
We had a deal with HBO, me and Jerry Stahl.
Oh,
and
man.
we were right in the middle. And then you're like, Put your pencils down. Pencils down!
Yeah. Oh, no. God, that's the worst.
Well, I mean, I wasn't essentially a writer, but I did finally get this deal to write this thing, and then it's like, what?
Was it a starring vehicle for you?
Yeah, it was a development deal, and, we were writing the script, and then the strike ended, and we finished it, and then the head of HBO changed.
Yeah, just everything changed.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was,
So how did it affect you?
Well,
You were writing?
I was just acting.
Yeah.
But everything was about to change, and I knew my career was kind of just going to be over when the strike was over. Because I was testing for a lot of things. I just knew there was going to be half as many parts.
Oh, really?
And I wasn't.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. And I wasn't really successful enough in my mind to ride that out. And so I was like, I got to figure out what else I'm good at.
So you were just like kind of a bit player in your mind.
Yeah.
And that's probably a reasonable assessment.
Yeah, and so that's when I started Garfunkel and Oates.
Oh, it didn't seem like come from insecurity. You were being practical.
I was being practical. My friend told me later, he was like, your career was going just well enough for you to not realize how terrible it was.
Well, yeah, or you were waiting for a break.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't so much it was terrible. You were in the game, but you needed a break.
Yeah. I was testing for shows and sort of in that game where you can tell yourself that it's going well, but
that's what it is.
Yeah, but you don't
but you don't have any control over that, yeah. Right? Well, that's just the nature of the thing. Yeah. But I mean, you're testing. That's huge to get that far up the rung of auditions.
Yeah.
To do it more than once. I mean, that it's brutal, but that's it. But that's the roll of the dice. Like any one of those tests could have been the rest of your life.
Yeah, it could have
on
been
a TV
Mad
show
Men or something, or The Office,
or the other one, Big Bang Theory, whatever.
Yeah.
You've been on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. More than once?
3 times.
Oh yeah, as a recurring thing.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun, and we wrote Kate and I wrote a song for it for one episode.
Well, how'd you meet? Fun. Like, okay, so this after the writer's strike, where you're pulling yourself up by your bootstraps so you don't fall down the hole of darkness and anonymity in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You enter the world of comedy.
Yeah, it was right before the writer's strike, because I just, we all saw it coming. And so, I decided to try to see what else I was good at. And I wrote a short that I was going to direct for me and Kate, where she was playing my imaginary friend.
How'd you know Kate? How'd you meet Kate?
I met her doing commercials. We were both sort of getting called back to all the same commercials. So just from auditions, I'd see her they were kind of casting girls with big eyes for a minute there.
They needed looking for like Keane paintings.
Yeah, pretty much. Or there'd be the audition for like an elf, and it was both me and Kate would get, or a fairy. We were both there.
Right.
And so we met actually in the audience at UCB. We were just there to see a show and started talking.
Did you go there a lot?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. And then we became friends, and I don't know if you had this. I don't know if you had this when you started doing comedy, but I always had a hard time finding people that I could sort of tell my dreams to. Do you know what I mean? Like tell my goals and dreams.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know if I was ever, looking for somebody.
No, I always was, and Kate was sort of a safe space for that. And we used to go to California Pizza Kitchen in the Beverly Center and write down our things that we wanted.
Aww.
And we would put them on little napkins and save them in our wallets, and then we would go back a month later and read them to each other, like say them out loud.
That's cute.
And we were both writing comedy songs. And so when I made my short, I was like, let's make it a musical. And we did, and then our band was born from that.
Because she plays a couple instruments.
She plays ukulele, guitar, and piano, and trombone.
Trombone, and you play guitar?
I play guitar, a little bit of piano, and I play flute.
Flute?
Yeah.
You look like a flute player, a flautist.
I really do, yeah.
Yeah, were you a high school flautist?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Kind of anything you think I was in high school, I probably was.
Did you ever try the piccolo?
Yep. Yeah. I was in the marching band. I played piccolo.
You played piccolo in the marching band?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you are.
Yeah, I am that.
You're in a marching band.
Yep.
Oh, my God. How is this just coming out now? This is the crux of all of it.
Were you in the marching band?
No.
Oh.
I did design. Here's my connection to a marching band. My elementary school had sort of a ragtag marching band. It was a little private school, and they had a contest for someone to design the banner that they would walk with in front. And I won that.
Oh,
I designed
nice.
it. So I was more of a artist guy.
Oh, okay.
Not a marching band.
Well,
guy.
that is cooler.
Yeah. That was cool to see my design in the the Manzano Day School marching band, and I created this weird big kind of like trumpety horn thing that wasn't a real instrument. It was just sort of an abstract.
That's cool. Do you still do that stuff?
Draw?
Or graphic design?
I don't do any of it. No, I don't. And I was pretty serious about it. I mean, I used to do it a lot of drawing and I did photography in high school. And
when you're 80, you're going to start a George Bush style painting habit, I bet.
Yeah. George in the paintings.
Mm-hmm.
What a charmer. Everybody loves George W. Bush again in his paintings.
I know, it's so strange.
It's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a horrible joke about him, about the paintings.
What was it?
Because he did that whole book of veterans, of like injured veterans, weren't they?
He did?
Yeah, he did a whole book of paintings of Gulf War or Afghanistan war veterans and stuff, Iraqi war veterans.
Oh.
And I thought it's a rare opportunity. He gets to disfigure them twice.
Yeah, God, that's such a weird war for him to select. Since
I believe it
essentially caused it.
Yeah, it was. It's a little odd. I think he thought he was giving back somehow. I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't do any of that stuff anymore. Do you play piccolo anymore?
but I play the flute sometimes.
Really?
I'm not that good anymore, but.
So you're a full-on kind of dork.
Yeah.
Marching band.
Marching band, musical theater dork. Yeah.
Well, musical theater I get. Marching band's a little harder.
Well, that's what we had. We didn't have plays.
I get it. But like that's like that crew. With marching band, I always feel like, well, I'm glad they have each other.
Yes. And we did, and it was nice.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was a bully to them, but like it was just definitely a different world than mine. Mm-hmm. There was just I was too busy being sort of like, what's going to happen to make me a person? And they seem to be sort of stuck in their identities kind of early.
Oh, marching band people?
Yeah, just because like this is who we are. We're awkward.
Yeah.
We don't fit in, but there's a lot of us kind of in the same frequency.
I don't feel like I was ever in that frequency.
No. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Am I making it up?
My school was so small
that
it almost doesn't count what activities you're in. Because you can just kind of sign up.
Right, because everybody gets sort of involved.
Yeah.
There's just people that filled the roles, and then the people that didn't do anything, the troublemakers.
Yeah,
right.
And I was just in everything.
Yeah, I get it. So you and Kate, you kind of get kind of famous in comedy a little bit, huh?
It was crazy, yeah. It was.
How did that? What really happened? What was the arc of that? Because I think that's where I first saw you was with her.
Yeah, probably.
And you guys did my show. I think you did a live one.
Yeah, we
right?
did. Yeah.
And I don't think I've done a one-on-one with Kate.
No, not yet.
Huh. But so you guys start and you're writing songs, and then what happens for you two? Because
so we put our songs on YouTube, and it wasn't that big of a thing at the time, so we didn't expect anything from it.
Right.
We were just playing songs on my couch.
Right.
And then the creator of Scrubs, or one of the writers, called, and they wanted to use one of our songs as a musical number on Scrubs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they hired Kate to play it with one of the actors on the show.
Yeah.
And so people were sort of started watching our videos after that.
Yeah.
And then we're like, I guess we got to write more songs.
Yeah.
And so we made more videos.
But you made some money off that song, huh?
A little bit, I think. Yeah, it wasn't crazy.
Did they use it on Scrubs? Mm-hmm. It wasn't crazy?
It wasn't crazy.
Oh, because they only used it once.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so we started, writing more songs, and then we thought, we should play these out. We started playing them out, and we didn't know anything about the comedy world. Our first real show, we rented out this building called the Fake Gallery and just put on an hour-long show.
I know the Fake Gallery. Paul's place?
Yeah.
Is it still around?
I don't know. We thought you could just do an hour. We didn't know anything. We had that ignorance is bliss. We didn't know that comedians worked for years to do an hour. So we're just like, we'll just do an hour of
yeah, but you're sort of a theater act. It's not,
Yeah,
I mean,
different.
I don't think were there comics going like, who the fuck are these two? And,
no, we didn't really know any comics then.
Right. So I mean, I don't think any comics were judging you. It's like they should only have 2 songs.
Right. Yeah. No.
You did a show. You did a musical variety show.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we did it again, and then after that we started playing in the sort of crew that you're around. The
people I know, the UCB bunch.
Yeah, Comedy Bang Bang sort of.
Yeah, I was, I was a latecomer to that, and it's not, I'm not indigenous to that crew, but I know them all.
Right. Well, you were to us because you were there when we got there.
Sure. Yeah. So. I mean, because what year was that?
2008 or 9 or.
Oh, was it that late?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was around trying to, keep my presence up.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I've kind of cycled out of alt rooms, and I'm back primarily working at the Comedy Store, and I don't
really.
Yeah, it's just, what am I going to do? Go over to Nerd Melt, or what, is it still there? Or what?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Kate and I haven't played a show in a while.
Right. Well, you guys have gone your separate ways.
Well, no, we actually haven't. We've been writing songs for animated movies, and now we started writing Garfunkel and Oates songs again in the last week.
Just now?
So, just now.
God, I'm catching it. It's hot off the press.
Yeah.
Big news.
Yeah.
Garfunkel and Oates back at it.
Yeah, so we're going to be playing, pretty soon, hopefully.
Like what? Doing a night at Largo?
Something like that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we'll probably just go and try songs out at, a Nerd Melt type place. Just to see how they're received.
But what happened with all that? I mean, you kept doing like bit parts here and there, right?
Yeah.
That kept happening.
Yeah.
You were on Enlightened?
Yeah.
Who were you in Enlightened?
I was a coworker.
Oh, that's right. You were one that right in with Manzukis and
yes.
yeah. Okay.
I tested for that show actually for Sarah. I was like in the sort of testing like level of things. I tested for that show against the girl who got the part, Sarah Burns, and then they were like, "Oh, we'll bring you back." So they wrote me a little part on there, and I was excited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because everyone says that, and then nobody follows through. So it was nice that they did.
I like that show. I was sad when that went.
Me too.
When that went away. But so what happened with the Garfunkel and Oates show?
Your show was on IFC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's right. You were there at the same time as me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did one season?
One season, and it was a really intense experience.
But it got you into knowing what that experience was like.
Yeah.
I remember that because I was on, it must have been like my first or second season.
Yeah. But then when I started on another period and it was so easy,
Well, and also it's not your life. It's like there's something about like, and I found that too, where you're doing a show about your life, where your attachment to the material is a lot different than just something you're making up.
Yeah.
That you don't want to get too far away from what the authentic thing is.
Right, and what actually happened.
Yeah. That becomes problematic because it might not be good television.
Right. It might not be. It was. Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people telling you, like, your life's not that great. It's not that, this part of your life and you.
Right.
Yeah, we don't like it in the story.
Yeah.
So that's a little harsh.
It was, Kate and I, it was a really, like, weird time in our lives, and I cried a lot, and Kate and I got very close.
Did you find that whatever you went through, you made changes in yourself that you learned, or?
Yeah. I think so. I think I got less emotional about things and stopped. I tried to take things less personally, and it was just a lot. I felt like it was kind of our story, and it was big stakes, and
yeah.
But then I started another period, and I was like, oh, this is fine. Like, doing a TV show is not that bad.
Well, yeah, because you do get to, now you get to just be creative outside of the personal risk of it. Yeah, it's different. Like when I took the gig on Glow, and I have nothing to do with the creativity, the creation of that, but I'm just acting. I'm just going to be this guy.
You're really good on that show.
Oh, thank you. Whereas like when it was my show, like I had to do everything. I was part of the writing, part of the, in every scene. And, you get tired of yourself. You're like, yeah, it's a relief.
Did you like having a show?
Yeah. No, I think we did a good show. Ultimately, given the money we had and they were not, they let us do it. They were never really a problem, that. And also my showrunners were pretty aligned with what I wanted to do.
That's good.
And, the stories were good, and I was real happy with it. I don't think a lot of people saw it, but that's all right.
It's hard. It's hard being on a basic cable channel.
Yeah. But, there are those issues. But I think ultimately looking back on it, I chose to end it after 4 seasons. And, also I learned a lot about being on set, about acting, about, I don't know how much I learned about producing, or I did learn something about writing. Yeah. But, specifically about being in front of the camera. It was pretty,
you feel like you
useful.
Learned how to be an actor, sort of.
Sure. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Even though I was playing myself, you're still playing yourself.
Yeah. I mean, you're always.
But it's like, people who are like, who are you just doing you? It's like, yeah, but you got to act.
Yeah.
There are takes and there are cuts or,
it's not a documentary.
Yeah. So that was good. So another period, how did that come about? Because now this is season 3.
Yeah, season 3. Natasha Leggero and I, we decided we wanted to make a short.
Yeah.
And we thought of this idea over some wine and loved the idea and just decided to finance it ourselves. Because we wrote the short, because we wrote this script.
I love her, by the way.
Isn't she so funny?
Yeah, I like her.
Everything she says is funny.
I like her as a person.
Me too. But we wrote this sort of 15-page short, and it wasn't that funny on paper. And so we're like, we need to make it to show people like what the show would be. So Natasha and I made a short, basically a pilot presentation ourselves of what the show would be. And then we took it out and pitched it, and everyone passed. Everyone turned us down. But we were kind of like, but it's so funny. Like, they're
not getting it.
Yeah, we're like, and so we had our agents get feedback, and everyone had the same feedback, which is that they didn't see where it could go. They felt like it was sort of a one-note kind of sketch. And so we're like, great. So we'll show them where it can go.
Go on forever.
Yeah. So we wrote the pilot, and we wrote sort of a Bible for the whole show, and every character showing where it would go. And we recut the short and made it more just like poppy and faster.
It's so fucking weird to me because it's sort of like, Upstairs, Downstairs went on for a while. Like, they're the I don't even know if that's the right show, but like what you're satirizing, those things go on forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's what we thought. So we're like, we can show them. Yeah. But they all had the same criticism. So we're like, okay, well, there's something to that. We're not showing them where it is going. Sure. And so we went back and pitched it again and sold it
to Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's even more impressive than that is the fact that, you're on still.
Like, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's crazy to get a show made. It's crazy that we're still on.
Yeah. Well, the fact is like, and that wasn't a comment about it's not good, or it's just, it doesn't seem that anything survives more than 2 seasons, especially on that network, if I'm not mistaken.
It's so hard to get anything to go. We feel very lucky.
Well, I mean, you must have figured out some sort of, budget line, because I mean, it is a pretty ambitious show in terms of, doing a period piece.
Yeah, but it's a low budget show.
No, I know, but you pull it off. I mean, it's a low budget show, but you still got to do what day is it? 18? What year is it in the movie?
Oh, 1902.
In 1902 in the series.
Yeah.
So you got to be true to that as best you can. You're not breaking that wall too often or at all, are you?
Well, no. So we just get scrappy, and we have really good crew people around us. A really good costumer, really good production designer, DP. They sort of, make it so that it looks like a show and not a sketch.
Right. So there's still it's all around this one family, and you're ongoing with. Do you have do you know where this ends? Do you have a seasonal? Or are you just going to keep going?
We have an idea of the last shot in the whole series if we keep going.
Oh, okay. But you can fill in between then?
Yeah. Which is Lillian and Beatrice, me and Natasha boarding the Titanic and just like waving, like going, like we're like, that feels like it's got to be the last shot.
You just gave it away.
I mean, we'll see. Who knows if that'll end up happening. But we have this idea.
That's such a spoiler.
Oh, man. I just ruined everything.
You ruined your last... Your very last episode, whenever that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if it even gets there. But.
Yeah. But you work with all these people that there's a whole crew. There's this crew of like, these are people that I know, like Michael Ian Black and Brett Gelman and, who else is on there?
Tom Lennon.
Tom Lennon's great. Mm-hmm. But, who's the big
Jason
guy?
Ritter?
Keckner.
Oh, David Keckner. Oh, I love him. I love our cast so much. I love writing for them.
Yeah, and there are people that come in and out. They're not all there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sort of go based on people's schedules because everyone's so busy.
Yeah. I think that, it's like, it's so funny that there is this comedy crew that they all kind of show up in everyone's stuff.
Yeah, it's really nice to have that.
It is. Yeah, because you've kind of known each other for years and.
Yeah, and you're in their stuff and they're in your stuff and you can also get people last minute, which is nice. And you know that they'll be amazing.
So now that this is done shooting, what do you do? Do you still go out and are you doing movies or what's happening now?
I've really just been writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished writing a movie musical, so we'll see.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a real musical?
Yeah. So
like a romance or what kind of?
Yeah, kind of. Mm-hmm. Just like, but it's a comedy, so I'm gonna try to get that made. And Natasha and I wrote a movie that we're trying to get made.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like making things more than auditioning for things.
Or do you like making them more than being in them? I mean, would you ever want to just sort of like just be the writer?
Maybe. I don't know. I do like being in them though too. So.
Have you sold scripts?
Yeah, we sold one. Natasha and I sold this movie called Buffalo Tens, which is the one we're trying to get made.
Well, so you're staying involved. So you sold it. Are you guys in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Currently.
Yeah. You are.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the idea. It's a project for you, too, that you sold.
Yes.
And it's not a period piece.
No. It's about a matchmaking service in Buffalo. It's like Millionaire Matchmaker, but